prioritizing Twilight Armor just to make sure that he gets to tank everything for his team. And JP is really very comfortable with the Gatot Katra, which I like, and that we're seeing right now in Liquid's lineup. But they might go heavy on the mid lane bans. You could see the Novaria already being taken out. I'm wondering if the Eve could be the next consideration if you're Liquid, because the Fredrin Eve 2 looks like a terrifying combo if you look at it.
I love the Eve, the thought of the Eve making an appearance here, but at the same time, we're noticing something that's not panned out here. Where's the Kimmy? Where is the Kimmy here? Where's it going to slot in? So usually that has been on the first docket here for a lot of our games.
Yeah. That's true. So the Kimmy, the Eve could be options here for Aurora, but for their last bans here, they still took out the CC. They might be limiting the Alice is still there?
That's true. The Alice is still there, somewhere lurking with that gleam. I think he's going to gleam in right in our faces anytime soon. But yeah, I feel like you also, I guess you don't want to think about the Kimmy too much because maybe it'll have a hard time against a Baksha because of the passive, right? Yeah. Not to mention if they build up a blade armor.
Yes, that's
true. Yeah, so we're looking for XP laners as well. What? Benedetta, that's digging deep.
I did not expect that.
I did not expect that bad too.
Oh, now they get their Zane. Never mind, Rockers. They take it away.
We thought EUA would pick it up, but no, it is going to be TLPH.
They took the Harith and the Eve.
That's very solid magic damage.
Amazing. These are picks I would have thought Aurora would prioritize or get their hands on more than Liquid would, but they're all in Liquid's side now.
Yeah, Brigida, that's all magic damage though. They need a strong fighter XP lane.
So maybe that's why we won't consider the Alice, or Aurora are not considering the Alice anymore too.
I think so.
They're looking for a bit more damage to come in the EXP lane, but the Arlot's not there, the Yuzhong's not there, and even the Benedetta gets taken out from Liquid as an option. And Aurora finish up their draft with a Farsa Franco combination.
Well,
okay.
They warned us yesterday that the new stuff was going to come out. Here comes the Franco. I think that's the first Franco of the playoffs so far. And the UA back on the Farsa. And now on that last pick, we talked about some good physical damage.
Yeah.
It's not what I was thinking. It's the Terizla.
Yeah. It is physical damage, but it's not
like the big damage.
It's not the same as the Yuzhongs, as the Arlots.
It's not big damn.
But it adds up to the crowd control, to the layer of surprise that we can see from them. I mean, the real world AOG.
Yeah, the amount of catch. That's a lot of catch.
That's
right
a lot
here.
Already.
So we'll see. We are loading up into the map, ladies and gentlemen, for the first game of this best of 7. It is going to be one for the books. Let's throw it over to our esteemed TriCast, the We Bear Bros.
Rockhard, Brigida, thank you so much. An amazing pre-show, an amazing opening, and it's electrifying here in the FPL Filipino Arena. It's Season 16's Grand Finals. It is us, the We Bear Bros, Nice, Leo, and Redmar, to take you guys through, hopefully, 7 games.
Ooh, 7-game Grand Finals, and we're in for a surprise. Light gets his Franco back. Liquid did everything they could to deny UA heroes in the second phase of the banning by taking away Sicilian and Novaria, but he still ends up with a really great pick in the Farsa. Franco and Farsa together in the center of the map, but we're starting to see here again, with more Eves, we're getting reminded why Eves is such a nuisance now in this current metagame. Once she starts getting cooldown items on her, bro, she's gonna deal damage really quickly. In terms of the emblems, nothing too crazy, still pretty much run-of-the-mill.
The reputation on Light's Franco rings true even in Season 16. Undefeated going into this game. So you know that even if the drafts kind of regressed to a pre-Project Next status, everything that we've learned through the playoffs rings true.
It's really interesting to have this specific draft for Game 1. I think the draft alone, no matter how many games we get, we're going to go through its own evolution. You know, we've seen very different shades of the meta already because of the way that Project Nest came smack dab in the middle of the season, that I think from draft up game to game, we'll see that shades of the different meta. Because, I mean, when was the last time, you saw the Eve and even the Terizla pop up for any of the games through the playoffs?
Yeah, typical rapid boots rush there for the Franco. You mentioned the Terizla. Team Liquid Philippines just decided to build a wall of beefy bodies because they know that Aurora loves to play play a very tight formation, especially around Yue, having an artillery mage, and then Dominkite having a Granger as well. So Liquid is going to look to stampede. If not in terms of the rotations, then in terms of just winning the team fights through sheer brute force. You'll have to watch Sanford and Edwards' timings here and which team can help which EXP laner better.
Turtle now at half health. Carl TZ rolling Demon Kite out of that pit. RWM the answer. Sanji catches a good amount of salvos. Sanford draws first blood on Demon Kite. Turtle gets reset. Yue chasing Sanji. A shield on this Eve. Not gonna save him from Yue. And Yue's way behind enemy lines. How's he gonna survive? Like it's the flicker back, surfing it up to Demon Kite. He is ready. And here comes Kiel. Serving up a kill for the cavalry.
And look, Yue is still alive. Is he going to be able to escape this? He has wings by wings.
He's trying.
Yue,
no way.
Very low. No one gets him. He survives.
A big overcommittal there by TLPH. Aurora will get this turtle.
Okay. They talk about a fight for the first objective of the game. And they went back and forth. They traded for kills, but ultimately that objective goes in the hands of Demon Kite. And so they get that. Again, they're holding on to this very minor lead for TLPH. You saw the stats there, by the way, the win rate between a classic gold lane matchup that we see in terms of the heroes, the Granger versus the Herod. Interestingly enough, that TLPH got that Herod too, because we all know, we've been talking about all season, Dominkite is probably the best Herod in the season.
Oh yeah, definitely the best record, best performance, rarely loses lane. Now he has his hands on a Granger who decided to rush a Hunter Strike. Nothing too greedy, not going for the Sky Piercer rush. Of course he's going to be second building that, but a different flavor. AOG
coming in, Daddy JP, Summon Force by OHEF, light in the middle of it all, real world manipulation, the answer, keep it, the homecoming hero down, Light bites it.
Great use of the real world manipulation. No more Zaman Force here. Here comes the clap back by Aurora.
Then an airstrike coming through. Several salvos caught in by the patriarch of the cavalry. No dice.
They did get the revitalization down from JP. Part of this too. And, hold on. XP laner is going to be duking it out. Sanford should be able to get away.
Edward really stretching the limits on the body of Smith at level 6. Both XP laners just back off.
Yeah, and you see there, one of the secret matchups that you can pair up against a Lapu Lapu, if you have a good team building around it, pick up the Terizla. Yes, initially, once you bring out the Raging Slashes through the Bravest Fighter, once that's gone, the damage of the Terizla actually just sort of evens out the battle. So it's a bit of a dead lane. We're waiting to see which team's going to be rotating towards the EXP lane more. But I think they're going to be okay with just leaving it as it is because both of them can manage well. They're just looking to outplay in terms of the objectives. Hopefully Team Liquid Philippines doesn't do the same thing that they did in the previous fight, which was take the fight right at the very edge of the RWM. What a hook!
JP standing his ground. He knows that there's very little follow-through.
All right, Hook's going to land here. They're in position. We got to watch out where Sanji decides to set up this RWM, but they're just going to blitz the turtle.
Liquid denying robot response. An AOG called back. They will have to wait, and oh my god, the damage from Liquid! Edward and Demon Kite gone immediately.
You just got dudes jumping all over the place. The cavalry has evolved. They have wings.
Big, beefy boys slapping meat. That's it. That's what we're talking about. Just brute force, throw bodies, burst damage, play around the RWM, and it looks like Aurora aren't completely ready for this type of Liquid lineup. They're used to having Sanford a little bit more, like a lot of technicalities with this EXP laners. This time, it's simple. Flicker and use the penalty zone.
It's a tale as old as time. Fundamental MOBA tactics. Dive comp versus poke comp. The poke isn't ready yet, so Liquid take advantage.
Yeah, actually you said the best. The poke isn't ready yet, but when things even out, that's when Liquid need to slow things down just a little bit, because if they're not careful, Aurora have a fantastic counter-punish lineup once they have their items locked in for the Farsa and the Granger. Hell, we're already starting to see teases of it. The fights of Liquid are getting expensive. They have to commit a lot to get a big win.
It's interesting how it's happening too, because it's a different kind of pressure from TLPH. Because of the fact that they have a penalty zone paired up with a flicker, and then you have JP jumping in as well with the AOG. So for Aurora, I'm trying to adjust to this, trying to go ahead and not, because you have to think about how much ground can be covered by that for TLPH. That's the problem that Aurora has to deal with. So I'm almost thinking best thing they can do is if they're able to get a pick off from Light, take out at least one member from TLPH. that should give them some of the advantage. I think the hard part too is for Yue and Domenkite to actually utilize the space they have. Oh no.
All right, that's 2-on-1. Sanford eating quite a bit from this duel from Aurora. Edward and Yue lay down a smackdown on 40, sending him home.
Okay, Team Liquid Philippines need to find position again for this turtle. It looks like it will be an advantage for them, but Aurora, they are healthy enough to fight into this. Waiting for the feathered airstrike of the Farsa to come back. Domenkite now has a Sky Piercer, so Liquid has to be careful because a big turn by Aurora will hurt.
Okay, they're going to start up half health on this last turtle of the game. Demonkite and Carl facing off. There they go.
Edward into 4. JP intersecting Demonkite. Can Edward get out of here? Feathered airstrike. Do it. Backing off. 7 force by Oheb. Edward already down. Demonkite follows quickly. Aurora can't find nothing.
JP with the zone. Perfectly timed so that Demonkite wouldn't even get in range. He didn't get to use the retribution there. Carl TZ, very easy for him despite the entry for Edward. Again, this is why we wanted to point out the importance of the timing of the entry between the two EXP laners. But there's also a Gatot Kacho for the side of Liquid.
Liquid walked away with so much. They took the turtle, went the threat mid. Carl TZ drives by Grand Theft Orange. 4,000 gold up. This is looking like a stampede.
All of it's distributed pretty much evenly across the lanes too. Except for that gold lane, man. The gold lane difference right now, I think it's really playing into the stats that we mentioned earlier with the Harith versus Granger combo. And I would say, even when you see those fights break out, it's amazing because we don't see the Terizla that much.
Yeah.
You kind of forget how much damage he can take, especially with the passive that he has, that Body of Smith. He's able to go ahead and just take a ton of this damage, set things up for TLPH, and then that gives the free reign for Oheb and the likes to go ahead and solidify that team fight, especially around the RWM. Look at this, they're going to push him off the turret.
Demonkite got 4 on him. 7 force by Oheb. The bite down. The hook. Oheb only takes him down. It's a 2-man trade. 1-for-1. JP for DK. Light forced to use the freeze, and he still gets caught by Sanji. 2-for-1. Liquid wins it.
Oh my goodness. Team Liquid Philippines are still going for it. Domeng? Wait, whoa.
Domeng finds the Unite, and Domenkite back it off. Still alive. Edward buying time for his gold laner. Not so sure if Edward's ready for this. Go ahead. Another Salmon Force. Liquid holding on to this, pressuring the tier 2.
Really spicy there onto that tier 2 turret.
Yeah, the sheer amount of health and resources that Liquid has. If this game was a little bit closer, Aurora would have gotten an even bigger punish. But good thing they were able to balance things out with the light hook and flicker plus the bite. But Liquid are still sticking to their main idea, their main strategy. Play for the Harith, play around the Harith. And this time what they're doing much better now compared to their previous series up against Aurora earlier this playoffs was that they're marking the other points of entry. There's always at least 1 or 2 members of Team Liquid Philippines off to the side while the 3-man main fight is happening with the other members of Aurora.
And that's the problem here. Light, he's trying to land these hooks, but even if you pull someone, it's not a guaranteed kill. It's still going to be used by JP. Lord's going to go for a little bit of a reset. Demonkite's still up there with Carl. But look at the zoning. This is the potential we're talking about. JP's going to pop the revival.
Lord's very low. Sanford on the 2. Carl secures. And there's like by Yue. This is a good position for that ult, but there's not enough space for Aurora to take advantage of that. Liquid win. Lord for free.
Again, Sanford and JP able to provide such a big front here.
Yeah, they have fantastic item builds here. Already full build the anti-Karas for the Terizla. While JP, I love that he went for Dreadnought armor, didn't full build that, and then went straight for the Athena shield. That's why he can just stand in front of Aurora right now and act as the secondary Terizla. While Sanford's also the secondary Gatot Kacho. The interplay between the Roman EXP of Liquid is what's giving Aurora so much difficulty because they're both too tanky.
Yeah, this is what we were saying earlier, Yue is going to be a big part of that damage profile on the Farsa, and Domenkite's going to have to get there on this Granger. And it's been solved by TLPH, at least for now. They still maintain this lead. They're going to have to set things up here, deal with this Lord that's pushing up on the top side. They'll most likely lose that tier 2 turret. But now for Aurora, What can they do here on the defense? What are they capable of turning around to get this game in their favor as they face down that 6K deficit?
Well, if they have the reach, this is a perfect defense comp that Aurora has. If Liquid decide to throw bodies and mess up, it's going to be dangerous. They forced the flicker out of Dom and Kite, so let's see if Liquid will force any issue. But the thing is, there's no minion waves at mid, but they might try to play through the Lord. The minion wave at bot not going to be enough, but nah, they can't risk it at this point. Again, they have the Farsa of the Granger, which is already up to a Malefic Roar, so they have to be careful.
Little Robo no dump bottom. Dominic was fighting for his life. They will save this tier 2 in mid, but at 12 minutes, Holy Shields just retract anyways. Aurora does well to defend against that first Lord.
It's a bit tough too, because when you get to this point of the game, when you're really thinking Aurora, how do they turn it around? Might be it's that next Lord, but they have to figure out the puzzle here, man. The puzzle is TPLH's objective fighting. That box, literally the box they're able to set up with the RWM is, I feel like, problem number 2. Problem number 1 is getting past JP and Sanford, setting things up before they even get a chance to get in that range. So the job for Aurora is even more difficult. I mean, even Demon Kite can sit in front of that all day he wants, but if the rest of the team can't join him and he's zoned out, he's going to continue to die like he has.
Yeah, already up to the Magic Lantern after the glowing wand for that Eve. You see the Lapu Lapu and Fredrin both had to build Radiant Armors. Waiting on, I wouldn't be surprised if that'll also be a Radiant Armor for Light later on, because right now, the magic damage brought out by the 3 heroes on the side of Liquid, the Eve, the Gatot, and the Harith, it's what's stopping Aurora from being able to fight comfortably. They played around the pick-off style roamer up against a roamer in the Gatot Kacha who can just stand, front, hold, use the Revitalize. That reapplies the pressure now to Demon Kite, which, again, needs time. But then he couldn't get that time because he also had to act as a secondary frontliner for the team. So it was a risk that Light ended up with the Franco. Let's see if Aurora can somehow miraculously turn it around. See Halberd for Doming.
Here we go. They go ahead and pull out the Lord. Carl's going to show himself up here. I'm not sure Aurora is going to be able to do anything.
The flicker in by Light, the bite down plus the winner's function. Sanji swiping away, down goes Demon Kite. Light goes as well, it's a little too much. That 7K gold lead. JP closing up the exit on Edward. Oh, changing bites it. Triple kill for Edward. Liquid let go of the Lord to take care of that purple, but the cavalry continue to stomp forward.
That is economy dip at its finest. Showing they just have too many items, too much damage. Aurora will have to play through the defense in base, and this will be Liquid trying not to mess up winning this game. Forced out the flicker from Sanji though.
Yeah, you got to flicker out, but
I think that's worth it.
Yeah,
it's worth it in a way, but man, Sanji hasn't really had. Sanji has had a great game of just, I'm going to chill in the back, set up my RWM, and the rest of everybody else will go ahead and shine off of that. Again, they have had such a difficult time playing against that box.
Yeah, you see up to a Divine Glaive already for this Eve, and I'm wondering, why didn't you build the Divine Glaive Rush? They already felt this deficit very quickly. He still went for the Blood Wings. Yes, he's an important part of the lineup, but at this point, you're going to have to accept that you need that magic penetration right away to sort of smoothen things out a little bit more for your team.
Crazy thing about it, too, is Oheb's a big problem for Aurora. They've had no answer to it, and he's just been able to go Zombie Force all over the place. They're going to go ahead and push it into this space. Lord's going to march up. They drop the RWM.
AOG was the tail end of that RWM. Takes down Light. Demon Kite and Edward are holding the ground, but Liquid have already broken in. Lord here at an 1/8 of its health. Aurora just wailing away. Liquid happy with what they got. They're inside the base.
Yeah, good discipline. And good thing Team Liquid Philippines didn't force anything more. They're already happy with the kill onto Light, which now, again, reapplies even an insane amount of pressure on this Lapu Lapu and Fredrin. Liquid can continue this, though.
If they go, that is a penalty from the back line. Sideline, Edward cannot stand right in front of Liquid. Sanford goes, JP gets the immortality pop. Can he get out of here? Turret shots, AOG out. They save one body.
I feel like TPLH kind of messed that up. You know, they decided to go for the mid turret, even with a lead. I think they're surprised, even with this economic lead, that they still got punished in that sense.
Yeah, a bit of an overheat. Again, one of the tendencies of Team Liquid Philippines, if they have a big lead, they're willing to take very risky fights, even when there's a one last base turret that they have to go through the lane that they're trying to answer. Sanford committed the flicker penalty zone. Would have been great if the turret was gone. But Aurora also has really good wave clear at this point. Yes, there's a deficit, but they're beyond 40k plus. That means they can clear waves very quick. Team Liquid need to respect that, unless Aurora turn things around again very late into the game. Something we already saw from them earlier this playoffs.
Sandwich.
Carl Teasy rolling out, catches one, the AOG, that JP, the flicker from Domingkite, and of course a few salvos from Doming and you, and JP bites it. DK for the dad.
They went for a play. They scouted Aurora out, but still they only end up trading the 1-for-1. Lord's gonna come up here in a couple seconds though, so they'll make their way.
Yeah, but that's hella worth it because now it's about to spawn, and by the time the Lord goes down, Demon Kite wouldn't have even spawned yet because Liquid can blitz this comfortably.
They're gonna have to go ahead and secure this. Edward Light, are they gonna try to delay this? I don't think they're gonna be able to do much off of this. Surprise, gonna face them down. Edward, he'll just say hi to TLPH. They'll get back to base. Demon Kite will be up for the defense. And we'll see TLPH approach the base, trying to get the last two base turrets down, potentially ending the game.
Aurora stopped the bleeding.
Yeah.
So this is comeback territory. We've seen him do it from 13,500 from the same damn team in the upper bracket finals.
Yeah, Liquid has this weird tendency in Season 16. I think only around a 30 or 40% win rate, somewhere around that realm when the game goes past 18 minutes. My challenge for Liquid is for them to end it here, lest Aurora turn things around again and start off this best of 7 with a massive turnaround win.
See if they can do it here. Lord approaching up top. TLPH knocking at the base doors here, bottom and mid. Domingkite sold his boots. He's got a winner's crown. He knows he's an integral part of the success on this defense. Lord's going to be worked on. Here's TLPH.
AOG, Aurora disperses. Lord now underneath turret range. Aurora takes care of it. Liquid move on to that mid lane. Sanji with the real relation. The hook by Light. JP gets that turret down. Less damage coming in. Down goes Sanji. Aurora collapse on the Liquid. Edward falls after he used that flicker. Aurora still in it.
Aurora defends. We said that they have great clear, they have great high ground defense. They only lost Edward, but they stay in the game.
Yeah, they're managing the minion waves very well. Every time Liquid want to get close to ending things, all of that just for one turret. So now they have to watch out for the fact that Domingkite went for the Winter Crown. He can buy and sell immortalities later on. Now there's a Divine Glaive and Magic Lantern for UA, which is why minion waves are getting cleared very fast alongside the fact that they have items already on this Granger. The Queen's Wings on that Lapu Lapu, they got that earlier, but the big item pickup, and which is why Liquid now have to be super careful, is that Demon Kite doesn't care if he's the first target. He already has the Guardian Helmet. He buys so much time every time.
And looking at the KDAs on Edward and Demon Guy, and hell, you can lump up Light in there too. It's diminishing returns. These heroes haven't gotten kills, so Liquid in turn are getting less economy on the clapback, and we're approaching a point where economy rarely matters anymore. So they can just keep throwing bodies too. Aurora have found a way to play Liquid's game.
What it's going to come down to is the objective fight here, and again, we're looking to see if Aurora can actually have the fight that they want. They've been leaning towards Light to go ahead and get the hook, you know, to make a play there. But they might just have to full on decide that we got to go ahead and contest against TLPH for this next Lord coming up in less than 30.
Yeah, I think the main line of communication now has to be San. It has to be Sanji and Sanford. When Sanji wants to drop down the real world manipulation, Sanford has to be ready to look for Yue. Because the reason why Sanji got taken out in the last siege was that he dropped down the RWM, initiated, but Yue was free to be able to help reach Sanji, and those extra feathered airstrikes and eventually the cleanup by Aurora was what took him down. So the Terizla and the Eve have to talk together, work together, and sync their ultimates so that Sanji will be safe, and even if Edward dives him, there won't be a clapback from Aurora.
Well, here we go. Lord's up. It's evolved. Post the 20-minute mark here. TLPH still maintaining the lead that they have. They'll grab the buffs, give it over to Oheb as he grabs the purple and then the orange.
Oh, man.
Look at the positioning here, too, for TLPH. They know they don't have to rush this. they can play with some of the advantage that they have.
Yeah, sad sword for Dominkite, and that's bad news for Team Liquid Philippines. That BOD already locked in for him. Yikes, Athena's shield readjustment there through the Winter Crown. Aurora, they can contest this, and Liquid, hey, if they mess up, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, they're gonna go for this. Oh, in trouble, there's the hook.
We'll go to JP. Light does not want to bite. And we see Edward backing off, not committing any ults just yet. Lord at an eighth of its health.
Oh, Demonkite's trying to get there, but he's trapped.
Sanji with a real manipulation, swiping left, swiping right. Oh, Light as Demonkite goes down. The bite down by Light, canceled, and backing off. He uses Flicker, he goes down. Kiel gets another. 2 for none, the trade. In comes Edward, holding the line. Aurora does not like the situation they're in.
Oh, Sanji bought the immortality. JP as well. They juggle around, and now it's only 2 on the defense.
No Lord taken, but they're already inside the base. Down goes Yue. There's minions for Liquid. The cavalry start off strong. 1-0.
JP found Dominkite. The AOG, the taunt, it delayed the damage output of Aurora just enough.
Aurora needs a bit of a stabilizer as well. Pretty similar to what the Eve was in that game number 1.
That's open. That's still open. If they actually want to consider that.
Only love and night are
So they go
everlasting.
Sicilian.
All right. That's an OG pick for Yue. Definitely wants to play at a very long range. And I think they also want to play a bit of a long game.
Yeah. JP, looking at what JP still might want to pick up here. If it's the roamer heroes that are still available, the chip Kalea still there, but the AOG, I might not want to pick the chip into this lineup that Aurora has. Kalea again keeps getting snubbed.
Yeah.
Hylos is there.
What is up?
Hylos is there though.
It's a good front line, but I still think the chip is a good pick here.
Payback.
Marshall's there that you're talking
lead
about.
the charge.
Hilda! Okay.
But what's the jungler for Aurora?
Oh, they left it for last, actually.
Hayabusa's still there.
I would not mind an assassin jungler in this matchup. I feel like you have to temper that mid-game.
But, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Mox is not an option at the same time. So we are looking for a possible assassin for me.
Might not be a legend, man.
I cannot believe my ears and my eyes.
Wow, welcome back, Mr.
What?
Barrett. Okay.
I would have not expected this to actually come through. What? Barrett. And it's not a Barrett's accompanied by any kind of support. There's
That's
no
true.
Mathilda.
It's just the Barretts.
It's just the Barretts.
So they're gonna go hand in hand, and with the Gatot Kacha, try to keep this front line, this back line alive rather. So it is going to be a big question of whether or not TLPH can bypass the Barretts.
This is so interesting. A Fredrin Barrett's matchup.
What season is this?
What season are we in?
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a treat for the Barretts mains for sure. But for the meantime, we're going into game number 2. TLPH is ahead. Let's throw it over to our casters.
You know, that's the same question we were asking ourselves here on the desk. I said we're going to go through an evolution of the meta, game to game. Well, yes, what season is this? A Fredrin Bears Jungle.
Oh, we are so back. And I bet you, Naisu, started to miss Homa. Because you're a bit of a revisit to Daytona's welcome. But you missed Florida, huh?
That's
Yeah. Okay. Well, behind the scenes, we were saying, okay, this has to be like a tie, or maybe even an alpha. I like the Barretts, but this means that Aurora are playing around their magic damage. They're playing around the Sicilian and the Harith, which it makes a lot of sense that they'll both be getting the discounts so that they can get their items quicker. But Liquid, bro, they just need to build a bunch of Radiant armors and then they'll be okay. Let's see if Aurora can make this work. This is a very high risk, but Yue making it look rewarding because he is undefeated with the Sicilian.
And this is once again a specialty Harith in the hands of Dominkite. So many teams in the regular season have done 100 different things to ban out this Harith, and here he ends up with it.
And that's why I'd say this is looking good. Like, if you go down to the draft, I don't know what people say about the Barretts now. Bantai, but this is already good, solid picks, U-Wave and Bantai.
That's the thing. It's so brand new and so old at the same time that people don't have strong opinions about it.
You're not sure, you know? You're like, is it still good or not?
Yo, man, if it wins, everyone's gonna say, wow, what a brilliant pick. If it loses, boo, like, why'd you pick the Barrett? But, you know, personally, I like it. So, let's see, as we're looking at the action of the big screen, from time to time, I encourage our viewers to look at the map, see how the laning is actually going between Bantai and Oheb, because this is what's gonna be one of the main determining factors whether or not Aurora will make this Barrett in the jungle work. How well can Bantai actually manage Oheb in the gold lane and win in the gold lane?
Turtles up. Something already happening here. Even kind of will start this up, but now it's probably easy to fight or to jump in.
Here comes 40. Almost gets bit and hit with that detonus welcome. But Bantai so quick on the retribution, securing that first turtle for the northern line. Sanford very low. Lights on him, gets that taunt. So the airstrike by Sanji. A lot of damage on Edward, popping that vengeance.
Oh, now they're still trying to get away. Edward could be in trouble. He falls.
Output King bikes it. Light standing in the middle of 3. Little low, pops that concussive blast. Missile expert, not enough to displace Carl Teasy. Aurora gets to lick their wounds. Happy with that one objective.
Okay, good thing the Philippines were able to balance things out with a kill, but yeah, Bantai actually getting the Retribution battle win against Carl TZ there. Good thing that he was able to. But you see now, Liquid, even though they lose a turtle, they're not afraid to fight and re-engage. So Aurora, especially Light, needs to keep that in mind. UN needs to keep that in mind. And JP's still been super annoying for Aurora to deal with. His positioning is at the Hilda is one of the reasons why they were able to get that kill eventually onto Edward.
All right, take a look at the items too. You saw that you have about a couple hundred gold in favor for Bantai in the lane you mentioned. Keep an eye on that. Now, look at this.
Yeah.
Again, there's the pressure you were talking about.
Yeah, up top, Oheb got pushed back into the tower, and Bantai was actually recall spamming in front of him, so we weren't able to see that on the big screen. But again, I encourage y'all, look at the map from time to time. Now, okay, good thing JP was able to, I feel like after that, that's when Oheb told JP, hey, I need your help here, join out. So now you see Aurora, especially Light, trying to get vision in the jungle. I'm pretty sure Bantai knows that JP's hanging around here.
He's fine. Light on his tail, flushes him out almost seemingly with instant reaction. And they'll serve up this gold grab over to Bantai. Very good start for that gold.
Good block there, actually, by Light to stop Oheb from getting that. But then also, Oheb got a fat wave. Still going to be really close. No team can find a big win in the gold lane just yet. The EXP lane, it's going to be another dead lane experience. Unless one of them actually really messes up. But this turtle looks good for Aurora.
They're going to start it up. He is part of this. They might have to just force this fight. There's another airstrike.
Sanji here, blasting away, cancels it. Oh, it actually secures the turtle. How'd that happen? And now you have blasted away with those bad impacts. And Bantai, no follow-through from the rest of the Northern Lights, all Liquid.
Light's in trouble. He's going to go down here too. It's 1v4 Light. He'll fall. JP picking that one up.
Again, JP on the Hilda, plus the fact that Oheb got the miraculous last hit using the Death Sonata. That was all Liquid. And you see again the presence of this Hilda every time showing off in the back. Bantai was left alone there because Hilda just decided to go after you and Doming.
I'm thinking when JP's utility will expire. And if that'll ever happen, oh my God! Bantai with Sanji and JP alone. Oheb, not even part of the action, takes him out. What was he thinking?
I mean, he's been pressed off of his tier 1 turret, zoned out completely for a while now, and then he ends up going down.
JP's locked in. JP is so locked in right now. So are everyone else on the side of Liquid. Massive bleed. Now he's the one flexing. This Hilda, again, dude, there's so many problems every team fight. It seems like, yeah, they're looking around the objective, but UA's always getting left behind. There needs to be a fix in the comms. Watch out for the Hilda first. Accept that maybe going all in, making sure getting the turtle won't be the right play. Slowly go for heroes.
Lane, Edward, on the vengeance.
Razor's Wrath, not enough to take him down. He's all right. Again, a dead lane, and this is, weirdly enough, good news for Aurora. If at least one of your lanes isn't getting beat down, you have time to build up UA. And in my humble opinion, I think UA is more of a power player now than he was in Game 1. So at least if Aurora can extend this to past the 16, 18-minute mark, they should be in a better shape compared to Game 1.
Yeah, we've seen that hands of Yue before. It'll be quite deadly, especially in the late game now, leading into this next objective. Turtles, they can't let that Turtle be secured by Oheb again. I don't know if that was the Destinata or the Rhapsody that got it, but Carl Teasy's setting this one up.
That is welcome. Throw in Sanford over into that wall. The Salmon Force by Dominkite. 40 balls serving up a kill to Yue. JP gonna be up next. Sanji enters back. AOG by Light cancels it. Sanji with the flicker. Razor Crack taking Dominkite down.
Carl?
Down goes JP. Edward taking care of business.
A good fight for Aurora. Edwards jumping back up on the top side. He keeps Oheb out, but a good fight there.
Abu Jinjing has had it.
Yeah, perfect team fight split. Of course, Edward not giving up on the kill meant that they get a little bit more resources. Carl Teasy, a little shaky there. It looked like he would have gotten punished big time by Aurora, but Sanji eventually came back to back him up. So now Aurora can continue playing around that idea. See, they were going slowly, just a little bit for the heroes. Demon Cat was able to get that bite down onto Sanford. And then if they can continue to make sure that Sanford's the one taking the brunt of the damage initially, then they should be okay.
Sanford has been doing well to keep Edward down, but Edward rotates out. And I think that's a small victory for Aurora. That bottom lane, that expedite can take care of itself.
Yeah.
Now we're going into Dominkite is ready. And I'm hoping that's where Aurora is right now, because if you're waiting for US still, that's about 6-7 minutes out from now. Like, that is a non-starter if you want to fight now for this first war.
At least in that case that Yue got a kill out of that, kind of helped them scale up a little bit quicker here. They did go ahead and do that lane swap. Dominkite now on this bottom side. Trying to press this in, but he's going to have a whole lot to deal with. So can't exactly push the lane in, or push that turret down, and they're going to lead into this next floor when it does come up. So it's up to Aurora to kind of decide on how they want to play this out.
Yep, Sanji is staying way back. He's actually floating around the orange side buff of Aurora. I think he's providing space for Oheb, but Sanford's in trouble.
Playing with a conceal, forcing Sanford out of defensive range. That's the first turret for Aurora.
I guess I said they want to decide what to do. They got the turret.
Yeah, I think that was the info. The fact that Sanji got into the orange buff without any vision at all, I think Liquid decided to just call, hey, I think all of them are just down there already in the lower portion of the map. So good thing Sanford was able to get away in time. And when you're gonna look at Barrett's and the Lapu Lapu, you're waiting for the timing of the Brave Spider, the Raging Slashes, the CC immunity, a little bit of the Lapu Lapu should help avoid the initial wait.
Oh, this is a fight that's breaking out. Carl Deasy, the Vanguard for Liquid. It's a non-starter. Aurora has to let go. They have to reconsider their options here.
I was kind of surprised too that they were so up front, especially with Dominkite leaving the charge still going. Reaching dead here, but now Edwards being trouble.
My God, Edwards got 3 on him. The dead is welcome. Throw him to the wall. The vengeance.
Go!
Swipe it away. Sanji with the salvos. And Carl Teasy survives. Light falls into the back line. 40 against 3. Aurora can't fight with this front line wrecking lineup.
Liquid, they woke up good today. The positioning of Sansan, the vengeance came in actually perfectly for Edward. I thought they'd be able to get the punish, but the fact that Sanji, right at the very furthest edge of his feathered airstrike, still got the kill onto Edward. And then eventually Sanford coming through, readjusting so that the other members of Aurora can clap back. This is why we were a little bit skeptical towards the Barrett. It was good, but still with a healthy hint of skepticism. Now as we look at the items, on the way to the Dominance Ice for the Lapu Lapu, already up to the Malefic Roar for the Granger, still very far away from the Holy Crystal for Dominkite's Harith, and that's the item that they need right now.
It's crazy how it fell apart so fast for Dominkite. He was winning that lane against Oheb, and then all of a sudden he's down at, what, 2,000 gold. Oh.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
He's got to go heal back up. I don't know, he's having a good time.
When it comes to big fights, Aurora just doesn't have enough utility. I don't know how Liquid's making this work, because you look at their lineup, the only real AoE CC they have is Sanford and Carl Deasy. JP makes it look like he has it, but he's using damage as a threat to make up for that.
Oh, conceal?
JP looking to go hunting, jumps onto Yue, forcing that Bat's Beast. They take care of the Lord, and here comes Carl Deasy. Feathered airstrike by Sanji. Surgical approach to taking that tier 2.
Yeah.
Turret.
The fact that JP changed the trajectory of his walk, he used a second skill, I believe, on the minion, making it look like where Yue brought down his Bat's Claws, actually, the Sanguine Claws, would have caught JP. But JP was like, nope, I knew you know that I think I'm going there, so I'm going to go this way instead. Setting up with the feathered airstrike for Sanji, stopping any responses from Aurora.
They're playing around with the utility that they have very well for CLPA. PH. They find themselves now with a good lead. 6K up, they're going to put pressure on the purple, and they got it as well. So Demon Kite, no buff here. Definitely having a hard time. I mean, it's not just that the Barrett is kind of slow to move on his own, but realistically, you're able to be kind of that front line, but then you also put yourself in the position to get the Daytona to come off and try to make that work, but it's not working the way they want to. And I feel like a big part of that is because, again, it's Demon Kite that's taken a lot of damage before a big fight even breaks out. So then his positioning is then at risk of that.
Yeah, in the heyday of Barats, there would always be a hero like a Matilda or a Rafaela to help in the positioning. Here, he's basically raw dogging that as well, because he's trying to get it in when Liquid knows it. Here it is. We just have to sidestep. We just have to move over here.
It's a brute force Barrett. The fact that you have to revitalize on the Gacha, theoretically, if everyone's just all clumped up, it'll work well for him. But wait, whoa.
See, even this they can't deal with. Appraiser's Wrath right in your face. In comes 40. Sanji with the feathered airstrike, forcing his Alpha Force away from Demon Kite. Demon Kite too, but he's down. And these three members of Liquid are running through him. Down goes Light. Down goes Demon Kite. And there's nothing Aurora can do.
TPLH saw the window and they took it.
And they're already in the base, not even taking down the inhibitor. This is a straight-on stampede. Edward, the only one left, push out of his own base. This is miserable.
Oh, they're quite low. They'll clear out the minions.
Oh,
Edward,
critical?
you gonna fight?
Edward,
why?
Not gonna survive against 5, not like this.
He bought enough time though. The turret still stands. But the Lord is up, so they'll reset. They'll make their way for the Lord.
A lot of questionable decisions for the side of Aurora. I know for them it's like, yay, cool, we got Carl Teasy, but there's a massive deficit for you. If Carl Teasy shows himself in the map like that, there's always at least going to be 1 or 2 members of Liquid nearby ready to swoop in. Bro, that's a Fredrin. He can take that damage. Questionable for Aurora.
He wants to take that damage.
Yeah.
And in the wake of that stumble, again, a wipeout. Aurora, see another Lord go for the Liquid.
I'd say you see the value in him. That's what Fredrin is. And with this, the Lord is secure. They'll get ready to go ahead and take down some of these base turrets of Aurora's. Again, the lead has ballooned to 10,000. And honestly, Aurora has not had an answer for anything so far through this game. Even when you look at, okay, what's the late game insurance policy? Is it Yue isn't there. I mean, he's got what, 2 items he's working on next. Doming finally gets his Holy Crystal, man. So they should be able to at least clear the waves with that. Oh, hold on. They do get a base turret. Base turret's gonna go down. The Lord is still being worked on here. So Aurora's able to clear it out. 12,000 now for TPLH. They take the discipline route. They end up taking out this mid turret next. Tier 2 is gonna be the focus here. Sanford jumps forward. Now forward. Desperately trying to hold on to base turrets, but look at the feathered airstrike damage.
Yeah, it hurts
Too much.
too much. Aurora now have to pull a miracle. And at this point, Liquid, a night and day performance from what we saw from the last time we saw Liquid and Aurora go up against each other. Remember, going into this, Liquid has not beaten Aurora in a series. Now 2 games in the best of 7 grand finals, they are just dominating Aurora.
Demon Kite gets taunted here. Energy eruption working out. Over to you, Sanji gets blasted. Crocodile is gonna be up next. Detona's welcome, thrown into the wall. Look at Light from the back line. Edward too. The vengeance pop. The AOG catches OM. In comes Edward. Down goes Carl Teasy. Where did this come from? JP getting chased down by Edward. Down goes Demon Kite. Demon Kite looking to serve vengeance for his fallen brother. Edward hunting JP down. Broken wall working out for him. 3 for 1. Oheb, former brothers, agents, now turned rivals. Oheb wins.
And a back and forth. And it erupts here in the arena, but Aurora might have found a little bit of life in that exchange.
100%. I'm not completely sure if it was the missile expert that brought Sanji in a very weird spot.
Didn't expect that.
Did not expect. He was not supposed to be there that close. Light and Edward came in perfectly for the gank, but they could not get Oheb comfortably. JP was spacing out very well for Oheb, but then Oheb eventually got that kill onto Edward after the clapback. Liquid now, I think that was a warning shot. Aurora are definitely back in this, while Liquid still hold a comfortable lead. Remember, there is already a Holy Crystal on that Harith for Dominkite.
So it looks like TLPH will still respect what Aurora is able to do. They'll let Demon Kite go in and start that Lord. They're fighting for position here. Look at JP's positioning though. Keep an eye on him. Lord less than half health. The Feather Airstrike comes down.
Silent Force by Dominkite. He's got Sanford trained on him. Dominkite very low. Down goes Edward. Oh, it gets another curl. Easy taking out the invasion. Light served up a kill. 40. Very low. Falls immortality. Oheb wailing away. Dominkite, UA and Demon Kite cutting their losses. No retribution for Liquid.
It's on the gold laners now. And I think Carl TZ needs to understand, like, with the damage already on that Harith, he can't be like the main front guy. But I think Liquid decided to commit that turn. They decided to go call for the hero instead. And now you see some very classic echo shenanigans of where Sanji is right now, very deep in. My question is, how long is he gonna hold that bush? Because the last time we saw something like this, it was held for like, what, 4 or 5 minutes all those years ago.
Yeah, and not only that, but Leo mentioned this earlier on.
He's back here?
Especially with UA on the Sicilian here, he's going to need plenty of time. Well, look at this, 313 stacks.
Ooh.
Almost at the 18-minute mark. That's why we're seeing the impact of those bad impacts now.
God, look at this kill. 1 kill away from map stacks. 70 on the Sky Piercer. That means he's been getting all of his kills off after he got the Sky Piercer.
Oh, yeah.
Just pure value.
Yeah, so even though Aurora, you see them fighting very well, Oheb's not dying. And now the pressure is on the Dominkite and Oheb. It's really on them right now to mess up. Oh!
Lucky with the Feather Airstrike. Zoning UA out.
Flicker down, too.
JP as well.
Liquid cannot blitz this. They have to wait for the Feather Airstrike to come back.
Yeah, they're going to need that. And it was Oheb that grabbed that purple buff from Aurora's side and half health here.
Man-to-man defense like JP keeping UA honest. Lord at a 10 of itself. Sanford with the Brave Spider. Silent Force by Dominkite. They're bursting down the Lord. Oheb secures. Immortality off of Sanford. Down goes Domink.
Domink's gone and Edward's going to fall as well.
AOG by Light does not find JP. The taunt on the Demon Kite. This is close to over. Nothing for Aurora on the board. Down goes Sanji. Can Light view and do this? The flicker from Daddy JP.
Oheb's there. He's looking for more. He takes out another, and Oheb will get another. Ooh. It's a wipeout.
Liquid continue their momentum. 2-0.
Gold laners, I think you want to go magic on your... if you don't want to go bombing on the mage, maybe you want to go and get that Alice. But Hayabusa on Carl TZ, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
This is a good switch up, and they're not getting stuck in a pattern.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Really good. From a Baksha to a Fredrin to a Hayabusa.
He's doing everything.
Carl's been doing everything. He's been getting majority of those really good meta picks that are not usually all open.
I am not the only
So it's really surprising that it gets open.
It's excellent, actually.
Yeah. So the Farsa's still available too. I think it's gonna suit the Liquid lineup a lot.
Yeah, the Eve can also work for Aurora this time around, so maybe they might consider picking that up.
So if Liquid wants, they could just ban the Eve and then get the Farsa, so there won't be any matchup. But Aurora take it out themselves.
Okay. All right. So obviously it's gonna be a lot of mages probably on the docket here. I think Valentina is one of the picks that has not been mentioned a lot, but could probably make it to TLPH depending on how they want to use it. I don't like it just for the glorious pathway, but I'm thinking ahead for Aurora's mage pick here.
Yeah, I think it's also a lot more frequently coming out when there's a Grok on the other side, or when there's that really good big ticket ult that you want for yourself. But currently, it's the glorious pathway. And I think that's also really helpful if you're Liquid. But they take the Novaria out again.
Okay. So the mid matchup obviously is going to be... we might start seeing a bit of a different mid lane matchup here.
What was Sanji on during game 1?
Wasn't that the Eve?
But now it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone now. So it might... Maybe another mid control mage. Selena is not out of the question here, I think.
That's what I was thinking, because it's always the matchup whenever the Novaria comes out to counter the Selena, but not to counter. It's just to match the Selena. But Lunox gets taken out as a... It feels so... It feels like it was just yesterday, but okay.
Oh my god, what happened to Lunox? Lunox, come on.
What happened to Lunox Kimmy? Like, they were...
Lunox Kimmy,
they're not being...
Not even getting banned.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Lunox got banned here by Aurora.
Farsa or Kimmy might be coming in later for both Sanji and Yue.
Aurora needs big magic damage here. They need big magic damage, lest they be armored out by TLPH.
I don't think the Kimmy's a bad idea.
It is true. It is a really good... If you're looking for big magic damage, that's it. But at the same time, it might be...
There's a Haya Lapu,
yeah. And the gold is going to be eaten up by the YSS and the Granger. So you will lose out on some gold.
But you can't go Sicilian here either.
Yes, I do not want a Sicilian here. There's the Alice. I knew it was coming. But who's the mage? Selena. All right.
Okay. So what's left for Sanji is like... the Farsa.
Farsa.
Yeah. We did say the Farsa, Selena are like the options left for both
Maybe a
of these.
Lilia. Farsa it is. All right. There you go. All right. So despite what our fears earlier, Brigid, I think we kind of predicted that draft pretty well.
Yeah.
So good job up here. There you go.
The options were out there.
The options were out there. That's good. So we're not so far out of the meta yet.
Not yet. Especially in this game.
That's right.
We're not seeing any Barretts or anything. And we're back to the Yi Sun Shins, Hayabusas.
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy.
I like it.
I think the way the momentum's going, though, this is a very comfortable lineup that Liquid has secured for themselves. Aurora can play this just as aggressively, but after some time.
Yeah, let's see if Aurora can buy some time here in game number 3. Don't forget, it's already 2-0 for the Stampeding Cavalry. Throw it over to our casters to bring us the game.
Right now, this is about the most looking Season 16 draft we've seen on both sides. We're back to those YSS Hayabusa matchup. We've got marquee picks on both sides, but is this going to be enough for Aurora to finally get a point in the series? It's a best of 7 right now, facing 0-2 against Team Liquid Philippines.
Yeah, so when I first saw the 3 picks, blue side of Aurora, I liked it. You cannot go wrong with those first 3 picks, no matter what you slot in for blue 4 and blue 5. Then you see the Selena. I am partial to the thought that this is very coin flippy if you're playing around the Selena like this, especially when you see the Gatot Kacha and the Farsa on the other side, the fact that you're playing up against a Lapu Lapu. But then, it was paired up with an Alice. So, Aurora are now going to be playing a lot of dive, playing around that Granger and the YSS, but then you're up against a Hayabusa on the other side that now... very coin flippy to see which team's actually going to take this.
What I'm looking for is Aurora's box control. Wolf has been speaking ad nauseum about boxes, and in game 1 and 2, that's been one of their major problems. Given we haven't really talked about it during the game, I'm pretty sure it was alluded to by our esteemed panel, Rockhart and Brigida, but that's what I'm looking for. They have a high loss that should help, and I think that's key to them recovering. Again, fixing that 2-0 problem.
The only box I feel like really that we talked about was when the Eve was picked up, and now a couple times, you know, it's either been picked up or it's been banned at this point. But, you know, when you look at Aurora and their chance to set up a box, it's kind of weird the way it's going to work, because anytime we see the Alice drafted in, we know that that's a big component to kind of zoning out the opposing team, and that's going to happen to TLPH. Oh, whoa. Oheb and Dominkite, by the way, going through this. Sanford will have to burn the flicker, so he doesn't have that. But Carl Teasy joins too. turtles up though, so they're gonna go and start this up.
Wow.
JP holding down the front. He gets Demon Kite really low here.
Decent shit. Mountain Shocker. They're gonna try to pull a Hail Mary here. Sanji with the feathered airstrike, zoning out Aurora. JP very low, survives via the revitalize. Gets struck first blood on by Edward.
Oh, Edward, he goes down. Shadow Kill gonna be used. Carl picks up one.
It's all Liquid, man.
Wow, I feel bad for Demon Kite. That's like 3 games now where JP's just been man-marking him. JP fell, yes, and that was a great entry with the Gleam and the Throne of Ruin by Edward. But in the end, Liquid held on. JP got back in time to pop up the Revitalize and help Liquid stay strong up against the entry of the Alice. Sanji.
Like from Sanji, forcing a flicker from you. Ooh.
There's a reason why he keeps picking this up.
Yeah.
And no, hey, Demon Kite has to burn the flicker too. A whole lot of resources being used up on some of these small little fights happening across the map.
2 ults for a flicker. 2 minutes versus what, 30 to 40 seconds.
Alongside JP, Sanji's been on point this whole series as well. Looking at the items, slight, no clear obvious lead, maybe between the 2 junglers. Getting a little bit bigger now, but we still are in the earlier portions of the game. If JP and Sanji can link up again one more time to set things up for Carl TZ, Turtle 2 should be good for them. While Aurora, now I like their rotation. They're going for the Doming double, sending him to the mid lane. They have 3 bodies on him to help him out, get a little bit more farm. And now I like this acceptance by Aurora that they really have to start speeding up the farm for their Granger.
Yeah, I talk a lot too about Demon Kite and how impressive he's been throughout Season 16 in general, but I feel like he's going to have to be the one to step up too, and then a lot of these objectives in the early game and then even later on in the Lords.
Oh my god.
He has to get the retributions off. He has to be able to get the secure in, but again, that's easier said than done, especially when you're zoned out by TLPH, who has solidified that strategy of fighting around that box, fighting around that zone. And who are they going to go for? Sanford, who's confident up to 1v2?
Answers back after receiving a face full of Mountain Shocker to the face. No ult for Demon Kite, so Liquid have all the incentive in the world to just sandbag into this turtle. That's 2 for 2 now for the Cavalry.
Yep, there's a jump. They go in and they're able to clock down.
Force taking down Demon Kite. He thought he was safe for the orange, but it was just but a bait. Glorious pathway by Light to get on out of there, and Liquid have successfully invaded. Lights down! 40 gets him! The Apex Predator strikes again with a flicker! Bravest fighter, Carl freaking TZ!
This is the stampede that we've seen time and time again from Team Liquid.
Liquid, no. Liquid, feel it. You've seen the intensity that they've shown. Every winning moment that they have, because I think they just know that they are way over in Rora's heads. Rora, they don't look like Rora.
They're not playing their game. Not even the same game they played 2 days ago. This is a different team. Liquid have put the fear of God into them.
Yeah, what happened? Like, how did they, like, again, is it just the gauntlet, the endurance test that Team Liquid Philippines has played from the play-ins, from day 2, 3, 4, all the way to now?
Yeah, they have the hotter hand. It seems like it's a learning experience again. One of the branding that we have for Team Liquid for this playoffs is the revenge tour, winning against teams that they couldn't get a win over in series throughout Season 16. And this would, Demon Kite, not again.
Sanji coming in, feathered airstrike. AOG, Demon Kite will not survive as JP serves up a kill to Sanji. Carl TZ, want to take down Light, and he does! Roast Centaur, anybody? 2 free kills for Cavalry.
This is the Golden Stampede. They know. They've outwardly said they don't want to think about winning M7. They don't want to think about that just yet because there seems to be a curse. But it looks like they are hell-bent and holding on to that. Everything perfect. JP helping serve up that kill to Sanji. The prediction of Sanji to put down the feathered airstrike to the path of where Demon Kite was going out instead of trying to go for Demon Kite correctly. And the timing of Carl TZ to conserve the shadow out at the very last second.
There's just something about it. Third turtle's up. Sanford's going to jump in. He's zoning them out. Carl gets the turtle.
3 for 3. Feathered airstrike has already wreaked havoc. And the shadow kill go into the back. Light falls. No front line for Aurora.
No one goes down except for Light. Could have been way worse for Aurora, but now that's 3 for 3 for the objectives for Carl TZ.
The MVP of the season, the homecoming boy.
Oh, jump.
Demon Kite.
Taking a flicker out too. Dominkite trying to get some space. Again, fighting between the turrets here.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying when you decide to pick up the Selena as the last pick. Yes, again, one of the counters to fast, aggressive rotations to get a read in. But then it's so dependent on landing that Abyssal Arrow that becomes a big coin flip of whether or not you can actually win fights. But the coin hasn't been landing in favor of Aurora. The Abyssal Arrows have not been impactful enough. Carl?
Oh my god.
Forced out the flick.
Magic damage.
Oh, the dash.
Physical damage.
Yep.
What do you do as Aurora, especially since your economy has already been under attack? One might argue that these traps and these arrows could be for zoning. But what is the follow-through? Like, by throwing out a trap, by leaving one in the random bush, does that open up farm for Demon Kite? Does that allow Dominkite to do his thing? They force out a wings by wings from Sanji. A glorious pathway from Light, but they're just really buying time, Carl. Shadow kill plus an AOG. In comes JP, forcing a revitalize from Light. Aurora's jungle is in shambles right now.
Oh, they jump in under the turret too. Carl teases around the orange. He's gonna go. Demon Kite could be in trouble.
Shadow kill! Already used. Down goes Demon Kite. Light gonna be up next. Oheb on a killing spree. Liquid. Match point is within fingers reach.
It's all falling apart for Aurora, all the way from the beginning and all the way up to now.
Liquid are relentless, and Aurora are helpless. They can't find anything. There's always something Liquid's throwing at them.
Throw an arrow.
That looks so desperate, bro.
And JP just accepts it with a smile on his face.
Again, if you're Aurora here, you're sitting here thinking, how do we even get a win in our favor when everyone on the team can't even get close enough? They've always been just reacting to what Team Liquid Philippines has been thrown at them. That's the difficult part, and that's been the story from Game 1 to now, Game 3.
I have to take the moment to show my appreciation for Coach RC and Coach TikTok, what they have done to Liquid. I wonder if one day we could be privy to the preparation, that the strategies that they had heading into this, because this is just perfect. They are decimating Aurora.
Sanford's going to jump in. He wants to go for Edward. He will get the flicker out. An AOG used.
JP. This is all just to buy time. Carl was just working on the Lord. This is free for Liquid.
Everything has been free this game for Liquid. Again, just able to capitalize on this, make it all work, get to the point, and now they're just in the base here. Better airstrike.
Light right in the middle of all of it. Oheb pops him. Zamafor still standing. Dash and dash plus the revitalize. Popping up that Harith. And now Edwards up next. Q1 is on a rampage.
Oh, they don't have any minions here. They could be trapped in. They have to get out. Oheb's going to force a fight.
Not Oheb. You can't tell him what to do. Dropping that Zamafor. He gets shut down. Takes too many a turret hit.
Messy and greedy there for Oheb, but Liquid, they are still in the lead. But they cannot afford a lot of that. They still have a Lord crashing in though. Edward's Throne of Ruin earlier, only for, wait, Abyssal Arrow lands?
Feather there, strike the answer by Sanji, allowing the Lord to get a few more free hits in. Aurora gonna stop Liquid from coming in.
Ooh, it's like you said, Renmar earlier, back in Game 1 and even in Game 2, if TPLH has the lead, they like to play a little risky towards the base to at least continue to put the limit on Aurora, and that's what they've been doing. So they get some of the Holy Shields down to work with. They still maintain a big, healthy lead, 7,000 up. Yep. And the items are all coming into place.
Yeah, almost 2,000 gold lead there for Carl TC's Hayabusa. 1,000. That's the saving grace right now for Aurora. The fact that Dominkite has been getting farmed. He hasn't died yet. Already up to a Malefic Roar. He has his core 3 items. But the problem is every other member of Aurora is who's struggling. You barely has items in. And even though you don't need that much items, you just land that Abyssal Arrow. It would be great to have a little bit more follow-up, which Aurora does not have enough of at this point.
You know what else Aurora doesn't have enough of?
What's
time. They need so much farm on Demon Kite. Sure, that is what? Just a couple of thousand, but Dominkite isn't even firing off on all cylinders. Like, what do you even do if you get a 3-second stun?
Yeah. There's this, I don't know what it is, man, but over the course of history, when we talk about the rivalries, Demon Kite and Carl TZ, it just seems like Demon Kite cannot face that demon, man. I think it's his own inner demon that he faces when it's Carl TZ across from him.
The demon's demon. That is who Carl TZ is to Demon Kite. An echo of the past for Light as well. They said it. They just can't seem to take down these members. They took them down, but now they meet them again. Look at JP.
Oh, he's going to charge up, forcing Demon Kite again. This is what JP has been doing all series long. You have to give it up to him on being able to go ahead and lead that charge. Oheb dropping down his Almond Force.
Oh my god, a third of Demon Kite's health.
Just with one shot, man.
Just
again.
one shot.
Gonna take his purple. He does get it.
Wow.
Demon Kite secures that, but is this what you want to do? Because again, the Lord is coming up here now. You don't have that much space to work with. Real quick, this is the Infinix GT30 Pro. You can experience victory for every bottom gamer right now. We're going to look at JP. As I was saying, this man has been doing work.
Yeah.
He's a dad here. He's daddy.
Oh, we really have to start floating the idea that that man is going to be the finals MVP by the end of today if Liquid can seal it. Free Lord. Again, Aurora still cannot find an answer. They cannot crack the Team Liquid code.
At this point,
Like,
I don't know, man.
Scrambling in my head. At this point, it's miracles. Again, it's an Abyssal Arrow layering, somehow Oheb getting punished. But then if Oheb goes down, you still have to think about the Hayabusa's entry with the Shadow Kill. You still have to think about the damage you're going to be receiving from Feathered Airstrikes. And at this point, the fact that there's already an Oracle, even just the belt, even though that's not a full build item just yet on the Queen's Wings for Sanford, that's okay. Because he can still fight longer engagements.
Oh my
and it goes
God.
back to what you said, Leo. Aurora do not have the time.
Wings by Sanji. He knows that this is a big ticket rotation. Popping that Feathered Airstrike. The stun on the Carl TZ. In they go, forcing a Shadow out. Carl has one more Shadow. He's very low. Edward taking a few hits. Glorious Pathway and a stun on the JP. Successful defense in the top lane. Bottom lane up next.
so far a lot kind of thrown out there. They still got to deal with this Lord as it charges into the bottom base turret. There's an AOG.
Traceless out by Demon Kite. Shadow kill by Carl taking out Edward. Feathered Airstrike.
Oh, Light's in trouble as he falls too. TL goes in.
Salmon Force underneath this base. Liquid can smell it. The cavalry stamping through. They are at match point.
Everyone is perfect.
Now, it's another jungler for Demon Kite. Anakai for Demon Kite. Wow.
This feels like it is going to be. I'm sorry to say this. It feels like a last-ditch attempt to really stop the Fredrin man. Stop the Fred man from overtaking this game.
You gotta have a way to be a bit more secured when it comes to objective takes. Akai definitely has one of the biggest resources that you can use to prevent easy access to either using your retribution or just contesting the objectives in general. Ooh, I'm seeing myself, hello.
Hey.
But yeah, so they take out the Farza. Finally, it gets respected as well here. So there won't be any go-to artillery mages available for the second phase of the draft so far. But,
Is that one way they're trying to balance this out, by removing some of these mid lane picks that could disrupt the team fight?
Yeah, I think now's the time that we get to see a Kimi from Aurora, because there's a Gatot Kimi matchup potentially, and there are no ranged burst damage mages.
Yeah, no major threats to you, so that might be an option.
And even dive, because it's just a Lapu, and at least you have like a way to quickly reposition yourself if ever you did want to, but at most it's just a Fredrin that's serving as the front. We don't know what JP's hero is yet though, so that's also one thing they might want to consider. But based on how things are going, or based on how things have been going, the Hilda also too is still available, though I might not consider that, especially in this scenario where the Akai is the jungler for Aurora. So JB maybe might pick up something else this time around.
I still am waiting for the chip from JP.
Are we? But this is an Akai Gatot Kacha though, so the AOG and the heavy spin might not make it that easy for a chip.
The combo
to
is
come
off,
through.
yeah. But at the same time, you know, you could do the assassination 5-man gank.
Yeah, honestly, even the Mathilda is still there.
Yeah. Yue though, he is putting everything on the Sicilian.
Yeah. So going back, I think available roamers out there are...
You want to be safe. You do want to Hilda here.
Interestingly, the Hilda really is there. Oh, but they still go Hilda.
Oh! We're going global.
Okay, what does Edward pick in this scenario? Edward has to have a very reliable XP laner.
We might have to go Alice or...
The Alice is there, but...
Or Terizla here.
It's the
Terizla. Yeah. There you go. Okay. I mean, this is so... It's like plugging a hole in the sinking ship.
I'm trying to digest everything that's happening. Because aside from the fact that this was probably the fastest draft we've ever had for the whole series, this is looking so much like Liquid's comfort.
It is. It's maximum comfort. They have not brought out the Lo Yi in a long time as well, Brigida.
And I'm not sure how I feel about the synergies of the Gatot Akai Terizla.
Same here. So I don't know what Aurora's thinking, but I hope that we can be surprised, or else this is going to be the last series for the day, or last game for the day. Run over there, casters. Let's go.
Championship point right now for Team Liquid Philippines, unless Aurora, with this interesting draft, to say the least, can do something about it in this game 4. Renmar, looking at the draft with your analyst hat on, man. What's going on here? This looks a little confusing.
Yep. Throwback to MSC 2025. It was the Fredrin Akai matchup that gave SRG the only win that they got against Team Liquid Philippines in the grand finals then. Let's see if it is actually a panda-sized hole that is the problem of Aurora, and it's enough with an Akai to plug it. They have their Harris, they have their Sicilian, back to comforts. Edward needs to be on point with his entries alongside Light on the Gatot Kacha.
There's a big problem about that, Renmar. This is not MSC 2025. We are thousands of miles away from Riyadh, almost 6 months removed from a said event. And even if, guess who won that damn big tournament?
Well, we all know who that was. And it's crazy to think that, again, for how many times have we seen the gold lane change in the season, and especially here in the playoffs, and all we've seen today is Granger and Harith.
Yep. I mean, when it comes to these two gold laners, those are the top picks for both of them. The most synonymous with their MPL Philippines Season 16 versions. Lots of tough boots across the board because of all the crowd control that both lineups had. Lo Yi has had a terrible MPL Philippines Season 16. That is the one thing that Aurora is banking on. One of the few things that they can bank on here, and that Liquid need to change their narrative around that hero. Let's see once we are in the turtle fights, if the heavy spin is enough to mess up with Carl Teasy's retreat game.
Oh, JP pressing load game on all of the previous wins that he had into this best of 7, just on Light's face. Yue too getting managed, turtle down to a 1/5 of its health. Heavy spin by Demon Kite, pinning down 40. Oh! Sanji takes down the smiling demon as Carl takes the turtle. Sanford falls, traded off for once more, double kill for the chef.
Not the start you want to have. Could have been significantly cleaner. Aurora are gonna regret fighting that first turtle like that. But Aurora are still in this. Domikai's been controlling Oheb in lane. Sanji's appearance here is one of the few times that Domikai's been able to show up. But now with Oheb, with a level gap, able to balance things out towards his favor.
And this is the thing here too, JP, someone's got to control JP from Aurora, man. He's been having a hell of a time, probably one of his best series so far in his career against Aurora, game to game to game to game, and it's causing too much havoc on Demon Kite to even have this kind of jungler that we're used to seeing for Demon Kite.
Yeah, it was Sanford who was able to get this. Oh, AOG, oh, Light misses.
That's it. Oheb flickers out, Sanji too. close call, but Liquid will do anything to be able to keep this 1,000 gold lead.
I'm seeing a lot of desperation from Aurora from the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Look, JP and Sanford, they're not letting this guy farm comfortably at all. This has been the toughest series Demonkite has ever played all season long.
That's what I said. I think maybe what they found out, one of the weak points here for Aurora to deal with that dominant gameplay we've seen all season from them is to put unbelievable pressure on Demonkite. Again, throughout the series, he has not been able to position himself to even contest the objectives the way that he wants, or the way we're used to seeing Demonkite.
Oh my God. Light got JP on him and called easy. He goes down. Light takes a nap.
Massive disconnect. I was surprised that it was that bush that Light was holding at that point. Just hold lower bottom mid. Or in his perspective, it's upper mid.
Oh. Braves fighter by 40, delaying Edward the retreat. I think he wanted to respond somewhere. Oh no, it's Sansan right on Edward. They send themselves down bottom, rotating towards the turtle. Big fight already. Zaman Force dropped by Demonkite. Liquid pushes them out of that favorable position as Liquid takes 2 for 2.
A good use of the diversion to come help secure that second turtle. But now look at this, they're gonna put pressure on the purple.
Red Death Purple right in DK's face. Carl TZ is a menace.
He did not commit the turtle. He slowly used his abilities and basic attacks to take it down. Walked up, retribution away. And now the clock is starting to strike midnight, getting closer and closer to the story of Aurora ending with heartbreak.
Edward gets hit with an Abraser's Wrath, survives with about 10 HP, forcing Light to revitalize.
Aurora's in that position now where, hold on, Demonkite should be okay, but and JP again just being a nuisance all over the place. Aurora's in the position where they have to support Demonkite or at least find a win somewhere else.
Joseph, do you hear how ridiculous that sounds?
It does.
Support the Akai?
He needs help.
He needs so much more help. Aurora hasn't changed their game plan all series long. Instead of focusing on making sure that Demonkite is comfortable, Demonkite can get farmed, that the center of the map is good, they've been changing their focuses, putting a lot more focus onto Demonkite, not putting enough focus onto Edward as well, and Demonkite is suffering.
I mean, look at this. They're centered around Demonkite right now, too, as he falls further behind Carl TZ. Diversion trip to the mid lane. Again, what can Aurora do from this point? Who do they go for? Who do they bank on? Is it just Demonkite on the Harith?
Light intercepting on Carl. Sanford taps on Demonkite, forcing that defensive heavy spin. Bravest fighter already keeping back the Apex Predator. Oh no, Demonkite's not going to taste his purple once more.
They're moving way too fast. Purple still goes to Carl TZ. Every angle, every entry point blocked off. Every member man-to-man zoned.
Onto the turret, in between it they go. Light's gonna be in trouble again, he's so low!
Called easy with the Abraser's Wrath, 7-4 dropped by Demonkite. The flicker from Sanji, backing out, push in mid, tier 1 down.
JP sees the low health bar on Demonkite, and he's like, you know what? Nah, I won't risk it yet. We don't have that 6-7K gold lead we usually have.
6-7. You know what else is funny? The fact that JP stood there and showed him, yeah, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
That must be some mental damage dealt with Demonkite's game.
From the walkouts to what they're doing during the game, from walking out from the playing area to back to their huddle areas, it seems like that's been the story. Liquid have just been living rent-free in Aurora's heads. Aurora have not played their game all series long. Aurora have looked uncomfortable all series long. And now Liquid, it's their series to lose, their game to lose. Glowing Wand locked in for the Sicilian, but still, the lead is too far.
This makes sense because a lot of us forgot throughout Season 16, this is their house. This is where Stallions live and run free. They are the defending champions, and they are bullying Aurora since game 1. Heavy spin, they isolate the GOAT. Carl TZ send underneath, tier 3 down bottom. That's a kill for Aurora.
There we go, that's something Aurora needed.
Right with an AOG. Intercepted by JP and Sanji. They lay down a smackdown on the Light. Bravest fighter under that Gatot Kacha. They take him down, serving up a kill to Ohem.
All part of the plan, I guess, for TLPH. Maybe Carl TZ wasn't supposed to be heavy spun into a turret, but TL still gets something and it's still on the purple.
They don't even have the retribution. They just have the man advantage. And they still get it. And it's on the Granger of all people.
Kill one is a different beast. The day he woke up and he chose to be greater than ever. He chose to show the world, hey, I am the M3 MVP. I am a 3-time champion. Now he's looking to be a 4-time champion.
This has to be heartbreaking for the Auroras. It was Aurora that had the most clear, coded intention of the season. Champions. That's it. No looking towards M7. Just get the championship. Finally win that chip for the org. They missed out on it in 14. Didn't even make it to the grand finals in 15. But now they are on the brink of just getting trampled by the hooves of Liquid.
Juxtaposed to Liquid, who clearly said in their post-match interview last night, we're looking at M7. What is this? Another day in the office?
I think it is just another day here for Team Liquid, as it's another objective that's going to be going in the hands of Carl TZ. Aurora isn't even close to this. They're huddled around the Tier 2 turret, trying to think of a plan on how to get this game under control.
Joseph, is this a turquoise ube? They're really just stuck together.
They're stuck, man. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Aurora, I think even for themselves, the Stampede, for some reason, has just completely whiplashed them throughout this series, 4 games in a row.
And leading the charge is JP. Oh, diversion.
Oh! They're all in there! They bait out a heavy spin from Demon Kite, who was just doing this darkness to get his own purple, and he gets denied again.
This is not a series at all for Demon Kite. Can't even touch his buffs. They have to watch the Tier 2 turret fall. That Lord making its way down the bottom. Aurora needs so much more time to make this composition shine, and it's just not happening here.
In a season where the defending world champions, Onyx Philippines, admitted they've forgotten who they are, Liquid are reminding the world who the hell they are right now. Closer and closer to immortality yet again.
Edward gets defended down bottom. In comes Edward. Light with the intercept to the back line. Simon Force dropped in. Light falls. Oheb gets another one. Oheb goes down. Newer gets a kill. Edward barely alive. Carl TZ goes down. Massive trade. Big win for Aurora. 2 for 1. Sanji gonna bite it 2. Make it 3.
A big trade for Aurora. They lost the base turret, but Team Liquid has done this time and time again. That first Lord 5K ahead, they go into the base anyway.
Now that was Aurora's fault. That was Edward and Light with the link up, the flank, the gank, the set, and Demon Kite getting the heavy spin to make sure that they can even get a kill onto Sanji. Now we've got ourselves a game. This is now within Light's reach.
Let's take a look at the replay, exactly what happened. Again, Edward jumps in, Light comes from the back. They do get overloaded with damage, but they force it all this under the turret. So even when Carl goes down, Edward gets away with a sliver of health.
Joseph, that is the magic keywords, under the turret.
Under the turret. So, it's happened many times.
So that means that wouldn't have happened elsewhere on the map.
Yeah.
Aurora has to take their lucky stars. Liquid were willing to overcommit.
You asked if this is a turquoise-coded Ube. One of the greatest strengths of Ube back in the heyday was making comebacks through moments like these. Being able to come back just when you thought they'd lose one sequence or turn it around. There is still a significant lead that they have to chip away at. Carl TZ with the Athena Shield, Dominance Ice, didn't full build into the anti-Cuirass, but Oheb still has a significant lead over Demon Kite. Good thing for them is now, though, it's 12 minutes in, then yeah, they already have the Holy Crystal on the Harith and a Divine Glaive as well for the Sicilian. So this is within comeback reach. And Liquid cannot overheat.
They can't overheat. Aurora, are they even in a position to want to contest this?
For the first time in 12 minutes, yes. They're trying.
JP.
What a dance. JP taking that flank. Aurora have eyes on him. I'm pretty sure someone saw. JP comes in. Eyes on UF, forcing that Bass Feast. Lord at 1/10 of its health. Carl TZ trying to keep it up. And then AOG on Light. Lord still standing. Demon Kite secures after a heavy spin tango. And Carl TZ goes down. Demon Kite finds him. Demon Kite falls. One for trade.
He's gone. The diversion's going to be used.
Oh,
They're
they
gonna conceal to get out of there. They have to get out, but Demon Kite got the Lord. They go back.
Summon force by Dominic-Kite, pushing Oheb out. Now the next target, gonna be Sporty. The Apex Predator gets 3. In comes Oheb. Daddy JP to the rescue.
And the Edward's gonna miss. And Oheb's still firing off the back.
JP finds Dominic-Kite. Edward gets taken out by his former brother Oheb. Now it's just you and Light left.
What are they gonna do? They have to deal with the Lord here. Light and UA will be able to clear out the minions, so it's going to be just that. Lord buys them time for Aurora to stay in the game.
This is the most exciting the series has been all grand finals long. Liquid do not have the iron grip as they did. Aurora finding clapbacks. The heavy spin perfect. Demon Kite getting the retry, but it was Liquid with the counter punish yet again. They can't afford to do that because of the lead. And who was it that showed up right at the nick of time to turn things around? It was the Hilda running up to Aurora, but Aurora are still in this, and Liquid must not rest on their laurels and their lead.
So 2 warning shots now
Yep.
to the cavalry. Hey, you slipped up once inside the base. Even outside the base, Aurora can clap back. I'm looking at Daddy JP's items. He's got to build that bolt, man.
He's got to get the ball, do a little damage. The Blade of Hepsies might be able to help him do that, but
Finish the job. I think that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
If Dominic died earlier,
Yep.
then maybe the exchange would have been better for Liquid.
it might have been.
Yeah, he was single-handedly zoning out Yue again,
Yeah.
which is why it felt like a long time for, we were wondering, where the hell's the Sicilian? Where's all the effects of the Sicilian spells? And it didn't happen up until JP finally showed up, and then Yue could finally join in.
At this point, though, Aurora has accomplished one thing, that's time. Again, we talked about this when the Sicilian was picked up earlier on by UA, and that's what he needs to get the stacks.
They bought time.
They did buy time, and he just got a clock of destiny for more time. So now at this point, Aurora is in an actual position of contention for the next Lord. That's really what the focus is going to be here.
Yep.
Unless TLPH, mind you, we haven't seen the Loyi pop up too much, but now that you have that, you can play at a macro level, and they're still going to put pressure on the purple buff of Demon Kite. But he will go ahead, and it looks like he doesn't get it.
Nope.
He hasn't had majority of his buffs, but I'll tell you what, the last fight for the Lord is why we saw what an Akai can bring to these objectives. If the team is able to capitalize on that and Demon Kite can get that space with a heavy spin, he can secure it. And every Lord that's secured from this point is a big win for Aurora.
Aurora has had immaculate minion wave control all season long, and they have to keep that up. The lack of the turret in the bottom lane, the lack of good health on the turret in the mid lane, and they're up against Liquid Slow Yi, Sanji Slow Yi. How heartbreaking would it be if, despite everything that they've done in this game, it's the signature Liquid backdoor?
Oh man, Demon Kite taking a ton of damage, already at half health.
I'm looking at Dominic. He flushes Daddy JP out, and that is a huge threat. Maybe even worse than a split push.
JP goes bottom. He wants to go ahead and push that turret in so that UA has to respond.
Yeah. He's just hitting the siege minion. He's not full clearing it, allowing the minions to slowly finish the job so he can rejoin.
Half health on this Lord here. Demon Kite, he's going to have to make a play.
Sanford on him. Oheb comes in close. Bravest fighter coming in. Demon Kite still secures the Lord. Is that with force? By Dominic Kite. That's not a fight that they want to take. AOG light out of here. Now the base going to be up next. Oh my God. The Golden Road beckons. Stampede complete. The cavalry goes back to back.
What a play! Team Liquid Philippines are your FPL Season 16 champions!
Doubts answered with an undeniable reality that crushes the brightest of dreams. Team Liquid are better than you. Team Liquid are on the Golden Stampede. Team Liquid are undisputed!
It runs in their blood. They've done this over and over again. From Jakarta to Malaysia to Cambodia, a backdoor win by Liquid.
I posed the possibility. I didn't expect it would actually happen. I already said it leading up to that Lord.
I said as well, the Loyi is a macro play. And they just brought the cavalry down there. We talked about management.
5 days of the playoffs, we now have our MPL Philippines Season 16 champions! Get ready to lift your trophy you've earned!
What a moment! An opportunity for them to complete the golden road, and they have what it takes to continue it yet again. Making something happen, moments for them, and now I think it is time.
I think they're ready this time! Get ready to lift the trophy you've earned! In 3, 2, 1! Once again, your champions, Team Liquid Philippines!
Sino ang